Alright, so I apologize for getting into this video so late. I really tried to get this out earlier. I think this is probably the day before the next update. I could not get the quest done for Sid, and I felt like it didn't make sense to do this video without him. So yeah, I don't know. You'll hear me talk about it more, but I did not like this update. I still don't. I'm hoping Summer Part 2, assuming that's what they're doing next, is a lot better. The grind for this update was actually horrible. I almost feel like they want you to have a macro for this update, and that's just not a good place to be. But yeah, that's enough of me talking. You guys enjoy the video. I got some of the units. I'm sorry this took so long. I could not get him. I can show you. Hold on. I 3 of him. 2 of her. And here's the thing. Before the update came out, I had an Erza and I had a Law, which means I pulled Law 3 times, Erza twice. And I finally pulled the Doflamingo and I pulled Nami. She doesn't have a trait because I have rolled over 1,000 on her and I have not gotten Overlord, and so I am giving up because I don't think she's that good from what I've read of her passives. And we got another update coming soon. I can't spend any more rerolls on it. I have to go grind again because I'm completely out, but that's not the point. Let's look at cosmetics real quick. We're just gonna go left to right. His is probably the best this update. I mean, I don't personally care about this character, so I don't care about the cosmetic, but this is gonna be what I'm rocking from now on. I've been waiting to get a Doflamingo cosmetic for a long time. Erza's cosmetic is also pretty good. It's what I've been using a lot, actually. Law's cosmetic is unfortunate because I wish it had the blue coat behind. Like, I think you add that and this cosmetic becomes a lot better, but it's not bad. And then Nami's is also pretty decent. It's pretty simple. But yeah, it's gonna take me a while to max everybody. I'll just bring us in. I'm gonna go right to left. Actually, let me reorganize that. I'm going from like least units that I think are right to left in that, like, basically worst to best unit is kind of how I'm gonna do it. Also, Sid is just the most interesting, probably. So this is Nami's placement damage. I haven't looked at her passives yet. Obviously, if you have better traits, she's going to be way better. I understand that, but I just want to show the unit because I have it. Let's look at her attack animation. She sends the bubbles up, creates a thundercloud, and it strikes. I switched to Bulma because then I can just do wealth once I have it and gain a bunch of money. She does Bolt. Let's read her passives. Weather Mastery. Upon entering Nami's range, apply one of the following effects depending on the enemy's element. So if they're fire, she applies soaked. Nature, she applies scorched. Water, she applies wind shear. Light, she applies despair, which is weird, only because despair doesn't buff dark units. So that one doesn't really make that much sense. And then dark, she applies slow. This continues to activate every 20 seconds and enemies in her range. And then Living Weather. Nami's Thundercloud enhances her bolt damage, causing it to deal 1.6 times damage instead of 1.2. If more than 10 enemies in range, apply Blizzard plus Plasma in range, 30-second cooldown. Pretty solid. Okay, let's put it back on 3x so I can quickly get through those, and then I can show her other attacks. She does get an active ability, see at the end here. Weather Shift, Club Humiliation, and then Cloud Striker, the attacks she gets. Come on, Bulma. There we go. She's relatively cheap, and being an air unit is an advantage in a lot of modes. Like dungeons and specifically dungeons, actually, which have modifiers that nerf like hybrid units or full AoE units, will not affect air units. So it makes them very strong for doing dungeons. There just really isn't a dungeon for nature units right now. For new attack, Club Humiliation. What's the actual animation? Oh, she just hits them with her club. Okay. And then we have Cloud Strike, which, okay, she's more expensive than I thought she was. 430,000 in total for that upgrade. I will say the 1.6 times bolt damage is pretty good. She's got a lot of support going on here with this, and then this could be really good. I don't really know. It's hard to tell, and it's hard to tell with not with only, you know, Juggernaut on. She might be incredible. I can't gauge it properly. I just feel like her passives don't read that amazing to me. So next attack, Cloud Strike. Wait, really? It summons Zeus? I think that's awesome. That's sick. The biggest problem, I would say, with her passive here, yes, this makes her good for pretty much any element. However, there are very few modes, and I guess there's only Boss Rush, really, that has enemies of different elements, like, in one game. So, some of these effects aren't that good. Like, I would say Wind Shear isn't that great. Same with Despair being on light enemies. That one just does not make sense to me. Because in the case of all of these other ones, you know, Soaked buffs water damage, Scorched buffs fire damage, Wind Shear, I'm sure, buffs nature damage. And it's like Scorched buffs fire damage and Burn DOT, Soaked buffs water damage and does stun sometimes. It's like Wind Shear is nature and bleed. Despair is just DOT in general, but it buffs elemental damage except dark units. So that applying on light is weird. But maybe I don't get it. We'll just do wealth and get her last upgrade. Weather Shift. Upon activation for the next 30 seconds, deal 30% current damage every second. And Bolt Multiplier increased to 2 times. Once 30 seconds ends, apply Sunburn in range. I mean, that is not a bad ability, especially for a 200-second cooldown. It depends on what her max damage is. I'm actually going to go pull up the wiki and look at somebody who has better traits on her real quick. Okay, so with Avatar, she does like 234 million damage. So with a full buff team on and just Nami, you can get her to like 500 million damage and a billion-ish bolt. She's not bad looking at that. Let me use her active ability, see if it has an animation. It does not. I bet I should take my allergy meds before I start recording. I'm all like sneezy and sniffly and shit. I probably sound like trash. Apparently today's a bad allergy day. So that's pretty much it for Nami. She's not bad. As I said, this is kind of my rating of units, like worst to best. Now it might seem a little biased looking at the traits on them. It's like, oh, you put these two below him, and you know, because he has glitched. That's not even it. Law just does a lot of good stuff. Let's look at Erza next. I was kind of excited for this unit, and then I was very disappointed. Okay, so let's look. He just launches swords from the sky. Yeah. Okay. Decent base stats, water unit, passives. So Dance of the Blades, every attack increased crit chance by 2%, cap of 20%. After she's performed 10 attacks in base form, every 15 attacks, rotate between 3 modes in order: Whirling Edge, Sword Barrage, and Steel Harmony. Whirling Edge, in this mode, gain plus 10% damage, 25% range, 10% attack speed, unlock and Mutilate. When enemies enter 30% of her range, deal 50% more crit damage to them, which is good because she stacks crit chance. Sword Barrage. In this mode, gain plus 234% damage, plus 15% range, plus 70% attack speed, and gain Crippled. Every 10 attacks, deal 3 times damage in range and apply Weakened. The reason why this is dumb is because she only gets to do this once in that form, because it's every 15 attacks she rotates. So it's kinda stupid. Steel Harmony. In this mode, gain minus 45% damage, minus 32% attack speed. Every attack, gain plus 5% damage, cap at 25%, so you end up at a minus 20% instead of minus 45. Once cap is reached, gain 100% base crit chance and 100% base crit damage. Not bad, but not good in my opinion. I don't feel like she's... When you compare her to Law, the other water unit here, she is awful. Let's look at our next attack, Spear Rain. Oh, you could see her sword barrage effect happen, the 3 times damage in range, killed everything. So it's just more of the swords, but Heaven's Wheel, that's, I didn't know it was called that. Oh, okay. That's actually pretty cool. I like her attack animations. I don't like this unit though. I know, here's the thing, this seems like good damage, but when you remember she only gets this for 15 attacks and rotates off of this one to go to other forms, I personally don't think she's worth it. But that's also my opinion. Maybe if you have, you know, better traits with Glorious, she actually becomes really good. I know some units are kind of that way. They're like, oh, with Overlord, they're just really bad. But you get Avatar glitched on them, and they're actually better than some other units. I don't have a specific example, but I know that is the case. Let's at least get to the 3rd form real quick. God, her range is so bad. I guess she isn't skill treed. I tried to use her in some modes, and it just did not work. I don't have her skill treed, but yeah. Obviously, she'll get this down to minus 20% instead. It's not very good. She's kind of a crit merchant, but she only gets crit damage on 1 form. I mean, you can see it here. You know, guaranteed crits, a lot of crit damage, but she only gets it here, and then she stacks 20% crit damage or crit chance normally. So it just feels kind of pointless to only get crit in 1 form. And then her active ability, which I am surprised she has one, but I'm glad, because it's at least decent. Fairy Armor. Upon activation for the next 200 seconds, forcefully switch to base form, gain 30% damage, 30% range, and minus 20% attack speed. Disable Dance of the Blade's passive, so she doesn't switch forms anymore during this time. Deal 1,000 times damage in range, apply crippled and weakened, enable Dance of the Blade passive. So that's after the 200 seconds are over. She does 1,000 times her damage. She applies cripple weakened, Dance of the Blade passive reactivates. So Dance of the Blade passives will be disabled during this, and this form will stay for 200 seconds. We've gone through all the other forms, so let's just activate this. It's not bad, but 1,000 times this is like, it's like 10 times is 2 billion. 100 times is, it's like 200 billion. It's not a bad amount of damage. It's just nothing she does is that good. And she's not even like, I mean, she's not expensive. You can max her out in pretty much any mode, but she's not the cheapest unit out there. I didn't check that actually with Nami, because she's actually more expensive than Erza. Nami is probably better than Erza. Looking at passives and everything, I don't have her with good traits and stuff, so I can't actually compare. And I just don't like this unit because I've dumped 1,000 rerolls in her with no Overlord, so I just don't care. I'm kind of upset. So that's enough of those units, or enough of Erza. Doflamingo first. He is ground only on placement. Let's look at his basic attack. Oh, it's the flame strings. Okay. Let's read his passives first. Or, sorry, he has 1 passive. I will say the fact he doesn't have clones bothers me because that's a thing he does. But it was only 1, but I still think it should have been a thing. String Demon. Upon entering his range, 15% chance to be marked with strings. Every attack, 35% chance to mark enemies with strings. Every 20 strings applied, apply Sunburn, stun enemies in range for 5 seconds, 15-second cooldown per enemy. Slow enemies in range by 20% for 15 seconds after stun, 30-second cooldown per enemy, and remove string mark from enemies in range. So the confusing part about this isn't 20 strings applied to the same enemy. This is 20 strings applied in general. And I believe this just does this to everyone in his range, even if they don't have strings, which is really strong. So you've seen his basic attack. He becomes hybrid on upgrade 5. He also goes line AoE. That visual effect lasts a really long time, but it doesn't do damage. I don't know. That seems kind of misleading. His damage goes up a decent bit. Range, attack speed doesn't really change. I think his attack speed only actually really goes down. Let me double check that. I'm gonna put him here because I actually think it's a better placement. So 4.25. Yeah, then it goes to 5.67. And then you get Birdcage. And then also active ability at the end is called Birdcage. Birdcage. He loses a little bit of range, I think, as you could see. Attack speed gets even slower. And that's the animation for that. Okay, that's cool. I don't have him really skill tree either. He is a nature unit, nature magic. But now that he's full AoE, consider his string passive becomes a lot better because he's hitting so many enemies with every attack. He can just constantly cycle it. I think he's oh, I have Idle Soul on him, so his price is reduced. I should have thought about that. He's probably around the same price as Nami, like 800,000 something. Normally, I mean, that's about where it is here. Or the 10% reduction we're talking. But yeah, I say he's pretty good. 500 million damage with just Overlord. I know his attack speed's pretty bad, but you can fix that with traits. His passive is very strong, especially considering he is full AoE. But let's look at his active. For the next 100 seconds, enemies in range take 3 times damage every 10 seconds, so 1.5 billion for me, and they're slowed by 2%. The thing that bothers me about that is I don't think the 2% slow stacks. It's just a flat 2% slow, which is kind of not important. For every 15 enemies that leave range before ability ends, stun enemies in range for 15 seconds, a 40-second cooldown per enemy, and apply bleed. Why not? Why not mutilate or something else that does a little more damage? I don't know, but it's still not bad. Let me just double check that I have active ability. Yes, I do have that on. So let's just use Birdcage. There is no animation for that either. Very disappointing, but whatever. I would say he's very good. He's a solid nature unit. Full AoE with some support stuff while also having decent damage. Now let's move on. I will say I have not actually used Sid. I don't really know what he does. Most of my kills on him are from when I had Enraged form. So let's look at Law's passives. Surgical Domain. Every 100 seconds cause enemies in range to walk backwards for 15 seconds. Affected enemies are slowed by 15% for 15 seconds after the rewind and take plus 15% crit damage from him for 15 seconds. He is max skill tree, so keep that in mind. Every 8 attacks apply Weaken, Bleed, and Blizzard on the following attack. Super strong. I know it's every 8 attacks, but his attack speed's pretty decent all the way through. I've used him a lot because I think he's the best water unit right now. Every 5 consecutive hits on an enemy, permanently slow enemy by 5%, cap of 25%, and drain 1% of current HP, cap of 100 billion. So yeah, he's got a 25% slow, can apply Weaken, Bleed, and Blizzard, causes enemies to walk backwards every 15 seconds. This has no cap of how many times it can affect an enemy, and he gets a lot of range, so that's super strong. And then he can drain health. I think he's crazy. So let's look at his attack. I know it seems to create a field. Oh, that's his room. Boulder Storm. They cooked up on his animations. Good lord. I know they're relatively simple, but I still appreciate them. Do I still have like low graphics mode on? Let me just make sure. No, I don't think so. I always get worried about that. So upgrade 9, new ability, Room, which means you get his active not at max upgrade, which is awesome. And then a new attack, Electric Knife. Yeah, it's the Gamma Knife thing he uses on Doflamingo. He probably uses it again, but I haven't watched that far into One Piece. I know this outfit is not from a part that I've seen yet. Let's watch that one more time, because I think it's such a good animation. I just really like this unit, personally. Okay. So he has 3 more upgrades. He's a little more expensive than the other units, but his stats are so good. Again, I have glitched, so I understand his stats are gonna be a lot better than probably what most people have on him with just Avatar. But they're also, if they have Avatar Glorious, it will be better than mine. because I think that somebody's done the comparison. Avatar Glorious is better than Glitched Mastery. So you're gonna have better stats with just Avatar Glorious on him here than I have with this. So he's still very good. So let's look at his active. Room. Upon activation, teleport all enemies on map to spawn. Drain 15% of current HP, cap of 1 trillion, and enemies slowed by 50% for 30 seconds. Enemies can only be hit by this ability 2 times. So basically what they gave him is a balanced version of what Giorno's Rewind used to do. Because it has an HP cap, it still slows enemies, it teleports everybody back, it has a cap of how many times it can hit enemies, and it has an HP drain cap, but it still slows enemies, it drains HP, and it sends everyone back. That is literally what Giorno's used to do before they nerfed him really bad. Do I understand why they nerfed him? Yes, I do. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people that thinks that was balanced and fair. Don't think that of me. But they definitely nerfed him. They definitely nerfed Giorno really bad. They could have just done this and it would have been fine. But I think at the time they just didn't have these concepts, which is fine. Let's check if this has an animation. Really? No animation? Okay, I guess. Well, that's enough for him. Let's look at, I think, the unit pretty much everybody cares about. I have seen his stats. That's really all I know. Okay, I'm guessing they put all the effort into this guy. Because, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's fine. So, he's got a few passives. Atomic Pressure. Once enemies enter Shadow's range, take 2.5% of his current damage as tick damage every second until leaving range. Once enemies have been in range for the following durations, perform the following effects. 10 seconds, increase damage per tick to 5%. That's crazy, knowing how much damage he does. And 20 seconds, inflict permanent despair. Funnily enough, this makes him combo really well with Law, who causes enemies to walk backwards. Because, wait, did I hit? Okay, hold on. I hit this passive. You can see the stats over here. Apparently, I don't know. I got really lucky. Upon entering overdrive mode, gain the following buffs for the next 100 seconds. Plus 75% damage, plus 50% range, plus minus 15% attack speed. I don't know why the numbers are weird on some of this, and you gain stun immunity. It has a 500-second cooldown, though, which is a little rough for a passive. Okay. That was very random that I hit that super early, because I actually forget... what the chance of that is super low. We'll get to that though. So who's running? Once a boss enters Shadow's range, inflict better fear to all enemies, deal 2 times damage in range, gain plus 5% range until the boss dies, cap of 25%, increase overdrive base chance to 1.5%. Then there's Limit Breaker. Every attack, 0.1% chance to enter overdrive. Every wave passed, gain plus 0.1% chance to enter overdrive, cap of 1%. Each time Shadow goes overdrive mode, gain 2.5% damage and gain 2.5% range, cap of 10% for both. So which means the max chance of hitting overdrive is 2.5%. If who's running, it's the 1.5, and then you get a 1% from Limit Breaker, so 2.5% max. And then we have Deadly Rain. Every 10 attacks, deal 2.5 times damage if enemies above 50% HP. 4 times damage if enemies below 50% HP. Increase range by 10% for 15 seconds. So he does a lot of stat manipulation. If in overdrive form, apply Bleed on top of the other parts of this passive. And then we already read overdrive because I happened to hit it super early. So his basic attack's really cool. Let's look at, and then his next attack is Immense Speed. I believe he does not have DOT. Will you do your attack animation, you goof? Excuse me? Oh, he's not even getting to attack because they're dying when they, there it is. They literally die when they enter his range. As you can see, And this is about 200k to get this upgrade, and he's doing 300 million every 7 seconds. I believe his big thing is he attacks very slow, but also with the fact he constantly does damage in his range, kinda doesn't matter. It's very similar to what I think it's Sakura Corruption does. That's pretty good animation. I still think the first one's better. So new attack, Atomic. He is full AoE. That's what I was... Oh, okay. So yeah. Okay, let me not walk through there again. Consider, also, remembering what Overdrive stacks 75% damage on top of this. He can stack 10% damage here. He stacks range. He's crazy good. He is also, I believe, one of the very few, if not the only unit to, without any buffs, hit 1 billion damage in the unit manager. I believe that was something my friend talked to me about. Now, he is extremely expensive. His last 2 upgrades alone cost almost 2 million. 600,000, 1.9 billion, 1.3 billion every 10 seconds. And he's doing 2.5% of that, which, oh god. 2.5% of that is 32 million damage every second. And then this can be increased to 5% damage, which would be like 60, I think looking at the number, it's like 65 billion damage. 65 million, not billion. Whoa. 65 million damage every second. Which is insane. So let's read his nukes. Upon activation, deal 1,000 times damage. Apply pressure, despair. Gain 30% range and 10% damage for 30 seconds. So he gets lots of stuff that increases his range, which is really, really good. 1,000 times his 1.3 billion damage is like, I think it's like 1.3 trillion. Exactly, because 10 would be 10 billion. 100 would, yeah, 1.3 trillion. I'll use them once I have, okay. Final Atomic. I think this should do more damage personally, but it will still do a lot. Upon activation, deal 2,000 damage, apply plasma poison off that multiplier. So we're talking like 2.6 trillion. What are plasma and poisons multiply? Plasma. Yeah, status effects, Control F, plasma. It is a 1.55, so, you know, it's like 3 point something trillion. Poison is the one that matters, I believe. 2.3 times damage, so you're talking about 4 trillion. So I think in total you get to about 10 trillion damage off this. You gain 35% damage, 50% range, and minus 15% attack speed for 60 seconds, and you time stop enemies for 15 seconds. Extremely good. So I also believe, I can't read it in here, when in overdrive mode, I think a mini atomic changes to a different ability called like faulty atomic. I'll try and, when he hits it again, I'll show that. But I'll just go through these two right now. Upon activation, deal 1,000 times, yeah, we read that. Mini atomic. It's a cutscene. Oh, I bet it has audio. It might be copyrighted though, so I'm not gonna. You know what? Because I can't enable music, but I can turn audio on at the very least. Let's look at. But do I even have game audio capturing my OBS? No, I don't, because I think it's currently on peak. Yeah, it was currently on peak. What the hell is Overwatch overlay? Okay, hold on. Okay, so final atomic. same animation as the first one. And he doesn't... I'm surprised I don't have him say the line, but I guess that's fine. As you can see, almost 2 billion damage, which puts him on par with Broly, except this guy's better because he has nukes and does other things. And because of the stats gained from these, he gets over 100 range. I think with max skill tree, he probably hits over 100 range. Or close to it. I mean, and then you'll have idle on 90% of the time, so you're getting extra range from that. He's crazy. Now, did I like obtaining him? No. Do I think he's worth obtaining? No, I don't. I understand he's probably a top 5 unit, possibly even competing with Gilgamesh for top 1. The thing is, it literally took me all week to obtain him. And I know the argument is going to be just macro. I don't want to. And I shouldn't have to. That's the thing. I should not have to macro to get something within a reasonable amount of time. I played this game legitimately 4 to 6 hours pretty much every day since this update came out. And it still took me until almost the new update to get him. That is bad. I do not like this update. I don't. I think the units are cool. I think almost everything about this is super cool, except the grind. The grind here sucked. This is one of the grindiest, most annoying updates they've ever put out. I do not like it. I feel the need to say that because anybody who's like, oh, should I go for this unit? Absolutely fucking not. Unless you have a macro. And then go for it. Because I don't judge anybody who uses a macro. I just personally don't want to. I'll like AFK a thing where I like put my auto clicker on and just let it restart over and over again, or turn it for AFKing and infinite, but that's literally all I do. I don't set up macros to play levels for me because I personally don't want that. I'm gonna try and get his overdrive, see if his overdrive comes back up for me, so we'll see that in a second. Okay, we hit overdrive again, and as you can see, this has changed to a different ability. Also, with overdrive up, he hits over 2 billion damage. So, again, crazy goddamn unit. If you have him and are willing to grind for him, I would chase glitched. But let's just read what this does. When entering overdrive mode, this ability replaces mini atomic. Upon activation, deal 350 times current damage, apply plasma off that multiplier, gain 15% damage and range for 30 seconds, has a 50% chance to miss. If Shadow misfires this ability, instantly exit overdrive mode and self-stun for 30 seconds. It's basically like Yujo's Imperfect Purple, except Yujo is better. I'm sorry, Yujo is technically top 1 unit, but the problem is trying to run him is a little difficult. I exited overdrive before I got to use it. I'll wait till overdrive hits again and I'll use it. God damn it. Okay, I hit overdrive again. That took a while. When entering overdrive, okay. Upon activation, 50 times current damage. I generally can't remember if I read this already. Apply plasma off that multiplier. Gain 15% damage and range for 30 seconds. Has a 50% chance to miss. I did already read this. Let's just use it. It didn't. I think I missed immediately because now he's out of overdrive. Well, that's not great. I also don't think it has an animation. I wouldn't imagine. I mean, if it's the same as Mini Atomic and Final Atomic, the animation's literally the exact same, so it doesn't really matter. And no, I am not going to wait to hit the thing again just to get the last percentage on this. There's literally no point. It's 10% damage buff. I mean, we know what that looks like. But yeah, I mean, he is an incredible unit. I kind of wish I didn't grind for him though, but I do it for you guys. Oh god, man. I got to this so late. I tried. I really, really tried to get this out earlier. I feel a little bad, but That's okay. Let's watch it one more time. If you guys enjoyed the video, well, thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, just other games, you know, I've played a lot of other games with my friends, and I probably will start recording them. I just like to give them a trial run off recording first. You might see some Dead by Daylight. I don't know. Wait, we have one missing slot, so we just do custom lobbies because I don't want to play with randoms. Because I don't care. And I still have more Five Nights at Freddy's content and Secret of the Mimic to get out. I apologize for being very behind on that. The last couple of days have just been kind of slow. I'll work on it. This will probably go up Monday. I'm recording this Sunday, so I can't upload it the same day. I'm already halfway through the day, so yeah. Again, thank you for watching to the end, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.